What's up, my fellow nerds? I'm Chris with Dees Nerds, and today we're going to be discussing Michael Keaton returning as Batman in the new Flash movie. So, guys, I am completely excited to hear this news coming out from the Wrap here a couple days ago. About Michael Keaton making his return. I know I've seen a lot of other articles that are being very careful about doing that, and I really appreciate that because you don't want to just throw stuff out there that he's in early negotiations. But having seen it come from BatmanOnFilm.com, knowing that Jet with BOF really is very careful about posting stuff, and the fact that he was very careful about, he was dropping a lot of hints on the Facebook page in the days leading up, so it's kind of like a what do you know kind of situation. And the fact that he is connected within Warner Brothers a little bit really gives me a lot of confidence to sit here and say that yes, Michael Keaton is back. So I am very excited about that. I am a huge Keaton fan in the Batsuit. It basically is the Batman that I really identified with growing up. I've made the very first video that we did on this channel was 10 reasons why I love Batman 1989. I'll put a card up there for you guys to go check out that video. This movie and Batman Returns as well defined my childhood. So I am so excited at the thought that Michael Keaton can come back to the role, and in a very interesting way. What really is interesting to me is in reading other articles, and that he's kind of going to become a Nick Fury-esque kind of character for the DC world. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to work. Also, that Batman 1989 and Batman Returns are going to be canon to the DCEU. I'm like, how are we going to pull that off? Of course, it's very easy to just explain it away with Flashpoint and the Flash and being able to travel through different worlds and different times and things like that. But how are they going to pull it off? I think the question that I would love to see answered is this Warner Brothers trying to find something that's going to stick to the wall? So they're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, and they're like, okay, fine, we're just Keaton's back as Batman, and that's gets us all ready to go and excited. Or does the director and the producers and everybody involved have a script and a story that they really like, and it just so happens to include that Keaton is coming back as Batman? So I would really love to see that. Of course, just kind of knowing everything with Warner Brothers and their history, especially with DC properties, a lot of times they tend to meddle. You hope that they've kind of learned after the Justice League stuff that came out, that maybe they've kind of learned their lesson. But it does give me a little bit of pause. But the fact that we can see Michael Keaton return to the role of Bruce Wayne, return to the role of Batman, it's enough. It's enough for me. And we're just speculating here, and I'm just speaking as a fan what I would love to see. Really, when it comes to the Flash movie, I'm just going to trust that movie is going to be it. But if that movie is successful, and it is true that this is not just a one-time thing, that he's going to be looking to doing several films, what do I want to see after that is kind of where I'm at. And where I'm at with that is, I would love to see something like, a Batgirl movie where he's mentoring young Barbara Gordon. I think that would be really, really cool if they could do that. Really the big one that's coming to mind for me is, and I'm sure it's with anybody right now, is Batman Beyond. I think introducing Terry McGinnis proper would be really amazing, and really being able to do, what is, in my opinion, the best Batman story that has yet to have anything live action done with it. It needs to happen. It's been talked about for years. It's still one of the greatest animated portions of the Batman universe, in my opinion, and it needs to happen. And we have a actor who is so beloved and just popular in this role. He's back. He wants in. Do it. It's time, Warner Brothers. Let's get this going. Let's have Batman Beyond proper. I would love if they stayed very accurate and did Terry McGinnis, but even if they brought back even if they did Dick Grayson or something like that, I would still be very happy with it. but I'm pulling personally for, Terry McGinnis if they ever decide to get that off the ground. As well, with making Batman 1989 and Batman Returns canon in this universe, I would really love to see them flesh out the storyline after Batman Returns, because obviously if Bruce Wayne is now in his 60s and Batman Returns, though the time between those, there's a lot. I would love to see them kind of make up for some things that they never really had the chance to do. For instance, I think, having, obviously you can't go back and do, Michael Keaton's too old. A lot of, Michael Goff as Alfred has passed away. Pat Hingle as Commissioner Gordon's passed away. My personal thing that if I was in charge of all this, what I would want to do, I would do some animated films and, put it all aside so we can kind of tell a couple of stories in between. Not necessarily a ton of them, maybe 2 or 3. Have Michael Keaton come in and voice those. I think the third film would be a great time to turn Two-Face or Harvey Dent into Two-Face. Bring back Billy D. Williams. You can do it that way. Have him voicing that and tell a good story there. Do about 2 or 3 animated films. The voice work shouldn't be a big deal. We all know Michael Keaton's done voice work. Of course, he was in the Cars movies. I think that would be a good way to kind of flesh that out while still, kind of getting that live action storyline from Batman 1989 and Batman Returns in. I think that would be a good way to go. I know a few years ago they had mulled around doing a comic. That would be kind of my number 2 choice, because that would also be really cool, and that would be a great way to tell some stories in between then. And I'm not sure why they chose not to, because that just seems like a really great idea. They did it with Batman 1966, and I think, that, kind of judging by, I just recently watched Return of the Caped Crusaders, the one that Adam West and Burt Ward came back to voice in that, and it was done fantastically. So I think there's precedent to come in and do those, and do it in a way that really moves the story forward, fills in some of those gaps, the 30-year gap between what's going on with the Flash movie and what happened in Batman Returns. I think it'd be a great way to do that. I think there's a multitude of ways that you can take this, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. I honestly never thought in a million years that Michael Keaton would come back and do Batman again. I'm kind of stunned that this is all coming about. The only question I have is, what is the plan for this? For like, say, this to happen in the Flash movie? Was it Warner Brothers saying, hey, we just kind of want to do something to get people's attention? Or, do they have a good story in mind? They're like, hey, we've got this great story, and it happens to include the fact that we want Michael Keaton back as Batman. So I'm very interested to see what other news comes out about this. It looks like it's going to start Q1 2021, assuming, COVID makes that possible. So we should be getting it here within the next couple of years, according to that timetable. So very excited. I think, as a Batman fan, I can't recall. Of course, I know Jet from BOF has talked about like the big moments of Batman, because, he's kind of grown up through a lot of them. He talked about that time in Batman 1966 was a huge time. Batman 1989 was a huge time. And The Dark Knight was a huge time. Of course, I wasn't alive in 1966. I was 3 and went and saw Batman 1989 in theaters with my parents for my birthday, which, I kind of go into that story a little bit in the video for why I love Batman 1989. But of course, that was a movie that defined my childhood, so I completely understand that. And then I was definitely around for The Dark Knight whenever that was all going on. So, but I can't think of a cooler time to be a Batman fan, where you can either enjoy all of it, or you can just start cherry picking, because, we've got the Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson film that's coming out next year, assuming that they can get back and start filming. You've got the Snyder Cut of Justice League, which is basically a brand new movie. According to him, 25% of what showed up in the theatrical cut is all that he shot. So, it's it's his, it's going to be a brand new movie. And then you've got this coming out. And so I have a lot of questions too about like, what does that mean for anything moving forward with the DCEU? As far as how's this going to integrate with the Snyder Cut that's coming out? I mean, there's a ton of questions that are brought up by this, but the main thing is it's very exciting time to be a Batman fan. There's so much stuff happening, and we're getting a part of our childhood back almost by getting Michael Keaton back in the role. Regardless, I have all this stuff I'm fanboying out about. The fact that there's a very real chance that we're going to get to see him at least one more time in that role. That would be a complete dream come true and something I never saw coming. So I'm very excited. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to be following this like the rest of you are, and we'll just see what happens. So, what do you guys think? I mean, are you guys as excited as I am about the fact that Michael Keaton's coming back? Or, do you feel like there's another way that they need to go? I'm probably going to disagree with you on that. I am very excited about Michael Keaton coming back. So, let me know in the comments, though. We'll have that discussion. We'll go back and forth. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing here at Dees Nerds. And don't forget to ring that bell icon so you know when those videos are coming out. So, hey, guys, we're also on Instagram and Facebook as well, so follow us there. And, we'll have content that we post there every day as well. So please follow us there. And, hey, until next time, I'm Chris with Dees Nerds. And you guys have a great, safe rest of the day. Bye.